Hi, Justin Macagba with CMG Mortgage, NMLS number 414049, here with Brittany Ferrugio with Accurate Title. For today, I thought it would be good to touch on one, sort of your interaction as far as what it is that you'll be doing with the title company. Also, what to expect when it is actually time to close. So I figure, Brittany, let's start with interactions with Accurate Title. So, the file is flipped live. We have the purchase and sales agreement, or if it's a refi, they agree to move forward. We send you over the title order. What sort of happens from there as far as interactions with the customer? What is it that they should be expecting?
That's a great question. So the first thing that you'll get from Accurate Title or whatever title company or law firm that you're working with is usually a welcome letter. They're often sent via email nowadays just because a lot of these loans move quickly and email allows us to get our jobs done a little bit faster. But you'll get an email with a welcome letter just introducing us as Accurate Title, letting you know that we'll be helping with your refinance or your purchase. And attached to that is a questionnaire. Whether you're a buyer, seller, or refinancer, that questionnaire has information that we need in order to move forward. That can include social security numbers, and we do have secure ways to send that over to us because we do have documents we need to prepare with that information. It will include information on any mortgages that you have existing on the property or any homeowners associations that are associated with your property, just so that we can gather all the information we need from those parties in order to make the transfer nice and smooth. After we send that questionnaire, or at the same time we're gathering that information, we're also preparing the title search. If there's no issues with the title search, then we'll let the lender know and you won't hear anything from us. If there are any issues, we'll reach out and address them and try to clear them up before closing with you.
Perfect. All right. So understanding that they're going to be reaching out, they're going to be filling out that questionnaire. I'm sure they can reach out with any questions that pertain to that questionnaire. Now let's sort of fast forward. We get your blessing that title is clear. We have the documentation that we need. Now we're sort of leading up to the closing, and it's important to sort of insert here that, as we're leading up to the closing date, which is outlined on the purchase and sales contract that you've executed, there is periods of time in which we need to have certain information out to you. One of those being the closing disclosure. Typically, the closing disclosure is going to outline the amount of money you need to bring to the closing table. It's also going to outline how much your monthly payment is. It'll also outline who you need to make that official check payable to. Now, anybody that's going to be on the note or on the deed, it needs to sign off on that at least 3 days prior to closing. Now, that happens. We have the closing all squared away. When should borrowers or all parties part of the transaction should be hearing from the title company to sort of facilitate? This is the part of the job I'm not jealous of, because you need to get all these people together in order to close. So when should people start to expect to hear from the title company when it comes to that piece?
Yeah, it's kind of like herding kittens.
It really is.
So our process is, once you get the clear to close from Justin, the lender, that's when we start to reach out to parties to ask when is the best time to get together to sign all the documents and do the closing. And so that's when you'll be hearing from our closing coordinators asking when it's convenient time. Sometimes the realtors have already had that time set aside and you're already aware if it's a purchase. Other times we're starting from scratch. So just make sure that you're answering our phone calls or responding to our emails so we can make sure that it gets on the schedule for you.
Perfect. And we have it scheduled. Buyers are excited, show up to closing. What can they expect when they sit down to start signing documents?
Good question. So one thing I'll mention is, before you get to the closing table, the title company will do their best to get you what's called the settlement statement prior to closing. And that details all of the financials, every single thing that you're paying, every credit and debit, for you to review before you get to the closing table. Most of the time we're able to get that out ahead of time. Sometimes we're still waiting on final pieces of information, but by the time we sit down, there's going to be a few things that you're asked to bring to closing. One of those is a government issued photo ID. So that can be a license, a passport, a military ID. Just make sure that it's not expired. You'll want to check that a few days before closing, because we have run into issues with that and it can delay your closing. The other thing is if you're bringing money to closing, you'll notice that the title company in all of our emails and correspondence will ask for a bank check or certified check or a wire. And those are funds that are guaranteed by the bank. And sometimes there's some confusion because a regular checkbook has a bank's name on it. People will think that that's a bank check when it's not, in fact, a bank check. So what that means is you're going to have to go into your financial institution and initiate a wire or ask them for a cashier's check made out to Accurate Title so we can collect those certified funds. And then once we sit down at the closing table, we'll go over that settlement statement, make sure that there aren't any questions as to any of the financial pieces of your transaction, and then we'll go through the rest of the documents as well.
Perfect. Sounds like a lot. I can tell you firsthand, obviously being at the closing table, there are, some questions that may come up. If there is anything that should come up, you're always welcome to reach out to myself. You're always welcome to reach out to Brittany. If there's any other questions that anybody watching this may have, what would be the best way to get a hold of you, Brittany?
Sure. My email address is Brittany, BRITTANY, at accuratetitleh.com. And my phone number is 603-657-6301. Feel free to reach out anytime.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and hope anybody watching this got a lot of value from it. If there's ever anything that can be of assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, make it a great day and look forward to seeing you at the closing table.